Cool. Sending live. Hi everyone, I'm joined by Adam and Jamal today, so just let us know down in the chat and Q&A if you can hear us and if you can see the slides, just so we can make sure that we start on the right foot. I think there's also an option just to thumbs up the message that I have sent, just to let us know that you can hear us and that you can see the slides okay. Cool, thank you. So yeah, people can hear us and they can see the slides okay, so kick it off.
Cool, so hello everyone, it's really nice to meet you this afternoon. My name's Adam Gibbons, I'm Microsoft Certified Trainer. I'm here with a couple of colleagues of mine, Jamal Kiani and also Freya, who's just spoken to you. So I hope you're having a great afternoon. No, not far till Christmas now. And basically today what we're going to talk about is how you can do automation. So one of the cool features you can do with this is automation in Microsoft 365 service. So we're going to show you how you go about that, some of the things that you can do, some tips and tricks and things like that. So just as a bit of a guide, we're just simple 4 slides because a lot of this is going to be demonstration. Just to mention, this isn't the way we usually train, just to clarify. So the way we usually do training, and we do a lot of different commercial training packages, is our commercial training is more sort of kinesthetic and interactive. This is just a taster session on the technology, but if you did go with commercial training with us, it will be more detailed. So anyway, so we're going to do an introduction to Power Apps. We're going to go through Power App templates, how you'd use the templates, and then we will come on to a summary. So basically what you'll need to do first is I'm just going to quickly switch screen and I'm going to go to my internet browser. Just give me a second. And basically what you'll see on here is you will see Power Apps. So basically that's just displaying Power Apps. To get to that, this is within Microsoft 365. I just went to portal.office.com. You do need to have a relevant 365 subscription for this to work. So you can, if you do want to view which which versions of 365 support Power Apps, if you go onto products.office.com, you can see the different licenses and things like that, and look for a version that does support this. And then I'm just going to go down here and I'm going to click on Power Apps. And what this will do is it will basically open the Power Apps, the Power Apps 365 app. So there's some great features with Power Apps. You can create sort of little apps that automate common processes. One I was looking at the other day was you could set it so your mobile phone would receive a push notification every time your boss would email you. There's some absolutely amazing solutions available. And
so Adam, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
But say, I want to look at, sorting out a budget. Is there anything that I can do in here? Yes, there is. So yeah, you push me to it. So yes, there is, and it's one of the things I'm going to come on to in a moment. Basically, if I scroll down here, what I've got the all templates. So what that will allow me to do is basically, if I click from here, I can start from a blank template or I can use an existing one. What's really cool about this is rather than just simply going and starting your own Power App, you can speed things up a bit and decide to use one of the pre-existing templates. Of course, you can go ahead and create your own Canvas app, but what we found is it's often quicker to just use one of the templates. So as my colleague Jamal Kiani says, let's say we want to create a budget app, so we want to track things like employee expenses, or you just simply want to keep a track of how money is being spent. You've got the budget tracker app here, so this gives a really quick way to get started. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and click it. You can give it an app name. Could call it like Racial Test Expense App, for example. And you can see here I can select a format of tablet or a
format of phone. And what this allows me to do is basically I can choose whether I want to keep the when I'm creating the app, I can either put it in a format that's compatible for a tablet or a laptop or something like that, or I can format it to make it so that it will be supported on a mobile phone. I'm going to leave it in tablet format for now, and I'm going to go ahead and click create. And what this will do is it will load up Microsoft 365 Power Apps, and essentially what it will do is it will load this up. Just give it a second, it might take a moment or two. But what this allows you to do is it allows you to basically just create an app really fast, rather than having to go through the steps of, you know, creating a canvas, putting all your content on it and everything like that. Instead, what you can do is you can basically use one of these pre-existing templates, and basically you can basically mess around with it really. I'm just going to skip that. Basically the preview of the app, I'm going to come on to that in a moment, but you'll see here what it does is it loads up basically a default budget tracker. So for example, there's budgets on the left, it'll give you a total, it'll give you a spend, it'll keep you a budget, and through this sort of editor as such, you can actually customize the way you want the app to be. So for example, you can do little simple things such as enlarging this. So this is just a delete icon if you wanted to delete expenses. Let's say you were on a mobile phone and it wasn't displaying too well. You could increase the size of that, and you could customize the size of it to make it easily viewable on a mobile phone. You can do lots of other things as well. For example, yeah, of course.
Sorry to interrupt, but say I want to look at the functionality. Could you show us how we can look at the functionality of it? Yeah.
So using the functionality, basically what we'll do is basically, so you'll see here, if once I've done this, I'll come on to that in a second. Once I've done this, if I click play, what I'll do is basically you'll see here that basically it will display the app, and essentially you've got your team events at Contoso, you've got your spring customer visits, you've got a meta conference X5E. Basically these are just different expenses, and again you can customize this in the browser as much as you want. Essentially, if I want to delete one of these, let's say I no longer need it, I can press that, it'll get rid of it, and basically you'll see the budgets and spent and remaining all update. So it's just another app really, or widget that you can use. You can also basically add a new expense as well. So for example, you can click add here, and you can press expense name, and I can pick let's say car expenses, so it could be for fuel, whatever. In fact, I can pick transport here. Here you can see that I'm already using my camera, but usually if I wasn't using my camera, what I'll be able to do is take a picture of the expense, and I can put like tank of fuel or whatever, and click save. And what this will do is it would automatically update the expense figure. So basically you can see here that on the left you've got your events, and in here you've got your expenses for each applicable event. Look, so you've got fuel, whoever spent $1,000 on fuel. Basically you can have each expense for each event, and basically that it just updates. Again, you can delete the event or you can delete the expense, which is really cool.
So Adam, sorry to interrupt you again.
Yeah.
But let's say we want to start from scratch. Yeah. Could you walk me through how you would set up the expenses? So if we get rid of what we have here, how do we set up the new expenses on here?
Yeah, of course. So basically what you could do here is, if I get rid of everything, what you've got here is you've got this icon here where you can click add, and basically each expense or each event, it displays what's called a budget title. So I could, let's say we wasn't all affected by COVID, and this was there was 50 of us watching this, however, and we was in person. We could put this as an event. So original next, and we could say we're allowing 1,000 or maybe pick 5,000 for the event, and we just click save. So what will happen is we're budgeting a maximum of 5,000, which means we've got remaining of 5,000, and we can start to basically add expenses. So we could add food, expensive food, but still, you can add lots of things like.
So Adam, sorry to interrupt you again.
Yeah.
So you showed me how to add expenses. If you can just go back for me, please.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we've got food. Is there anything else that we need to think of? So say we've got a £5,000 budget, and we've got food. Is there anything else that we need to think of? So, do we need to think of lighting? Do we need to think of any audio visual equipment? So how do we do that? How do we add more to this? Do we press that blue button there?
Yes. So Jamal, you're absolutely right. If this was a real life event, we would need to add obviously expenses for physical equipment. So for example, we might need audio equipment. Again, you just press that there. You could put, there isn't a field here. I'll come back into how you edit this in a second, but you've got audio, and you could add, say, 100 for that.
And what is that photo option that I saw there?
Yeah, of course. So what this photo option does is it allows you to basically take a photo. If I just take my webcam off in this Teams meeting a second, I can basically show how that looks. So for example, go back to play, and I'll close this down a second. I'll click add again. I don't know why that's not picking up my, oh, there we go. So you can see that's picking up my camera. And what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to switch this round. I just need to change my camera settings, and basically what that will do is I'll be able to take a picture of like an expense receipt or something like that.
Okay, so what that does then is if you have any receipts, that you're able to show the proof of those receipts.
Yes. So basically what that would do is, so I'm just going to turn my webcam off. Basically it will allow you to prove that you would be able to use, you would have that evidence for receipts. And if I click play again, you'd be able to see that, I'd be able to just upload that to the expense figures, which would be quite cool.
Okay, and let's say that I'm completely new to this, and I don't know anything about code. I'm not very technical. Would I be able to use this?
Yes. So
okay. So sorry to interrupt again.
No, go on.
So I'm a brand new user. So let's go back into Power Apps, and can we choose another template, and let me see if I can create something by picking and choosing.
Of course. So you can see here there's absolutely loads of templates. Basically, you've got things like Power Apps training for Office, meeting capture, Power Apps training, onboarding tasks. Let's say you were working in, let's say you were looking at interviews, maybe. That's quite an interesting one, I think.
Oh, okay. So yeah, let's say I do want to set up interviews. So let's use that one. So we see this format which you went into. So why would I want to use a tablet format instead of a phone one?
So the reason you might want to use a tablet format is just basically the reason for this is that, as you may notice on some common websites you might use, websites don't typically appear the same on computers as they do on mobile phones. Most Android and iPhone mobile phones, or Windows, whichever one you pick, they'll usually, when you go to a website on them, BBC News, for example, they will have a mobile phone mode, and basically all this format is doing is it's optimizing the app design for your device. So with the tablet format, will that give me, so that will be more accessible for larger screens then? Yes, yeah, it'd be much better for, so with the tablet format you're looking at, it'd be much better for larger screens, phone format, it would be better for smaller screens. And again, you can just pick which one would be best with. Not to say it won't work on either. It's just a case of choosing what is best for the screen format that you're selecting.
Okay, so let's not worry about the app name. We can stick with interview tool. I'm happy with that for now. So I'm happy with the format. Let's go ahead and create.
Okay, we'll go ahead and create. And what this will load up, just give it a second, you have to be a little bit patient. Sorry about this, just give it a second.
No problem.
But basically what this will do, so welcome to Power Up Studio, there we go. So open app, so basically you can see here what we've got is we've got a number of different tools. So basically what I can do is I can reword these. The idea for this, just looking at this, is tell me that basically these are interview feedback on different departments. You got marketing, got human resources, accounting, design, management. Okay,
so can we can we press the play button and can we see what the functionality is like, please?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I can see marketing, human resources, accounting, design, and management. Can we select on human resources, please?
Yeah, of course. So let me. There we go. So you can see here that by clicking, in fact, I'm just going to go back to that. By clicking on the human resources, what you've got is you've got two candidates here. You've got HR team admin, so those are candidates as well. And basically what you can do is you can see these positions are open. If you click closed, the job of HR manager is closed. And with the open positions of HR, you can see I think this is basically how many have been liked by the team. So, for example, if I click, I'm just going to show what I mean by this. But let's say I'm interviewing for HR manager communications, and I want to give feedback on how well Margaret's done in the interview, or how well Ethel, if I've said that right, has done well in the interview. Now you can see here with Margaret, there's an up thumbs up. If I click here, what it will do is it will show interview by Fanny Maxwell, good, interview 2 by Peter Floyd, etc. Interview 3 by Enid Brewer. Now,
so what can we do when we review the candidate then?
Yeah, so that's just what I was about to get onto, Jamal. Okay. So what I can do here is I can click, and I can it's very much like Facebook's advice. Basically, I can select one and I can put higher or no higher. So I can put, I can put no. Oh, sorry, go on.
So based on the feedback that we've got already, so we've already got 3 people saying that we want to hire her, and let's say, you said that you don't want to hire her.
No.
And we've selected that button. What would the feedback that we put in here be?
So this could be this feedback could be anything that you put. It could be something like didn't meet expectations in interview. Showed poor knowledge of HR processes. Something like that.
And let's press that submit button. So yeah, what would we be able to see after we press the submit button?
So once we press submit, it'll go, the feedback has been saved, and you'll see now there's one down arrow on here. Now again, within each of these, by clicking them, we can see that you can see Margaret just put good. You can see that Enid has just put nice. It's not brilliant feedback here. And then you can see here, didn't meet expectations, interview show poor knowledge of processes. So you can see this and make an overall decision. As you can see, 3 votes for yes, 1 vote for no, maybe higher. So
okay, so based on what we've seen here, can we add a new candidate? And let's have a quick walkthrough of that. So can you add a new candidate for me, please?
Yeah, of course. So let's say we get a new candidate come through straight away. I'll put in Peter Witherford, and basically I can put at gmail.com and just a phone number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So again, I've just made this information up just for the purposes of demoing the app. And basically what I'm going to do is I can click save, and then on Peter Witherford again I can add a thumbs up. So for example, on Peter, if I click here, just might have to just refresh, I can review the candidate.
Okay, so we've added a new candidate.
Yeah.
Can we go back to the start? So go back to where it says interview tool.
Yeah, of course. So I can go back to the start.
Okay, so let's see. All right, so we've got this. So we've got these positions that we can already see. Could you show me how we add a new position?
Yeah, of course. So let's say we get a new position, and so this again is still in the Department of Human Resources. Let's say, you know, HR assistant. Again, we put the HR manager, so hiring manager. I'll put me for example. Yeah, I'll just put me for example. I can be the hiring manager here. Just have a bit of fun with this, and put to help with HR processes. So again, just having a bit of fun with this, but you can see how useful it is. And basically, if I click save, what that will do is it will add this position has been added. And within that, I can go to the HR assistant and I can add candidates. So once, let's say, for example, you know, you've had CVs come through, you've had job ads from agencies, things like that. You've had people send cover letters to you saying why they think they might be great for the position. Then what you would do is you would just simply again add a candidate, and you could put I'll go for Daniel. That's
okay. So Adam, so we've added a candidate. One thing I want to know is so we've got this app and we've done it through a template. So as someone that's not technical, I don't have to worry about that. Why is this useful to me, and why should we think about using this in the future? Could you tell me that?
Yeah, of course. So the reason this might be useful is you think your HR team, it gives you a place to log all of the feedback from your interviews. So you think, for example, in some jobs you might just interview. You might have 1 or 2 people, typically a manager, interview you, ask you a set of standard interview questions, and then make a decision after that, or sometimes invite you to a second or third interview with different members of the business, and therefore you'll get different questions there. Where this will help you is, let's say you have to go through, let's say your company does a 2-stage interview process, which a lot of companies do now. You could add feedback from both interviews to this, and then after both interviews you can make an overall decision. Also, as a HR manager as well, if you're hiring for someone, let's say it's someone in a completely different field, such as IT, marketing, whatsoever, what you can do is you can see both from the interview from a HR point of view and from you know, a management point of view, and you can see whether both agree, the feedback from both and how the questions differed, and it just gives you that overall view of whether you think you should hire them or not.
Okay, and based on the 2 apps that we used, so we've used that interview tool and we've used the budget tracker. Yep. So again, they're both from the templates, and they've allowed us to create apps. So as someone that's not technical, I don't want to learn code. I just want to be able to create something and just be done with it. How does using the templates, how does that help me? And how does it work in line with automation? Could you tell me that?
Of course. So if I go back here, you'll notice here that there's a lot of technical things here with technical pieces of code and things like that. Now, I would say personally this app is ready to go and start using it. So the cool thing with templates is if you're not technical and you find some of the coding aspects of these tasks a bit awkward to complete, then basically you might think, I want to use the capabilities of Power Apps, but I don't really understand all the deep coding stuff, or I don't really know how to get it working. By one of these templates, take that interview tool, for example, you can literally just get it running like that. It takes 2 seconds. The cool thing with automation and how it also maps into automation is with a lot of these apps, as soon as you start giving them data, they start updating. So you can think of data as like the app's fuel or the app's engine, effectively. It's what drives them to run. And as soon as they're going, they start updating with data. Like, for example, you'll notice on a lot of these other apps, there's little bits of graphs and things like that. As you start to add more and more data, because Power Apps absolutely loves data, you'll see that they'll start updating and they'll allow you to make informed decisions at work. There's some just really cool apps here, which is quite cool.
All right, great. So, so you mentioned that I don't need to worry about adding any of the code. And like I said, I'm not technical, and I'm intimidated by this whole by the thought of automation, and I don't know what to do with it. So, as someone that doesn't know any of this and is intimidated by that thought of automation, and I don't know what it actually does, how does that help me? And so, say I'm managing the budget, how does that help me using those apps?
So as you say, using those apps, managing the budget, it just helps you to basically keep within a financial budget. So I can just briefly go back to the budget app, which we had a look at earlier, the budget tracker. What it'll allow me to do is essentially create a number of different, it'll allow me to create the app, and it'll allow me to track whether I'm spending too much money or spending too little money. It's not just me as well. Let's say you was using it for an entire company. You could see different events, like let's say you're working in a marketing team and you've got different events on, not just this one, like Next. And pre-COVID, you have to see people face to face. Basically, what you could do is you could use it to track the expenditures of each event. And you could think, okay, we're spending a lot of money on these events. Can we do something to make it cheaper? It allows you to ask these questions essentially. And again, because it's pretty much pre-built, you don't really have to worry about messing with it basically messing with all the back end code. You can just pretty much start deploying it and using it. And that's the benefit of using these built-in templates rather than going for creating a canvas app from blank.
Okay, so like I said, I'm a beginner. So would you recommend me using templates?
Yes.
Yes, definitely. So, say I'm adamant and I want to use something new. How would I create something new? Or say I've finished my template and I'm happy with how it's done. How do I share that to my team? So do I share that into teams?
Yeah, of course. So what I'm going to do here is you'll see first. So first, obviously, you'll need to select your app, customize it and things like that. So let's say we'll go for the opposite of what we did here, where leave request, so annual leave. And let's say we do that and we get annual leave working all up and ready. And we think we want to keep that. So again, another great reason for why you want to use Power Apps, rather, in the fact that you want to customize leave. Just give it a. Oh, that's asking me for permission to. Let's go back. I'll pick the budget tracker again. So we create that and we want to share it to teams. So what you can do is a couple of different ways of doing this. Just give that a second to load.
So Adam, what would be the easiest way to share this to teams?
The easiest way, or one or two easiest ways, I will show you. Sorry, it's just taking a second. There we go. So if you're on the app here, what you've got is File, and you've got this option down here called Share. So you can also customize a lot of the colors and make it look a bit more sort of company themed. You can also change your screen size and things like that, so it displays well on the tablet. But in terms of your question, what you can do is you can click Share. And to share your app with others, please save it to Power Apps. So what we first need to do is we need to save it by going to Save As. So we'll call it whatever we like. I'll call it Visual NXT Budget Tracker. And I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Once that's saved, so you have to save it first in your list of company Power Apps, you'll see the option then comes up for Share. And if I click Share, what it will do is it will open up a basically sharing link. So what this will do is it will give me a web link here. Now straight away what it will do is it will say add people as users and co-owners to the app. So I'm going to pick you, Jamal, just to demonstrate. Okay. And I can add Jamal. Notice here I can choose whether I want to allow Jamal just to be able to use the app or whether to allow him to have co-owner permissions. If you give him co-owner, that means he can customize the app and he can edit it. If I don't give him that, then you can only use it.
All right, so you've shown how you can add singular users. Let's say we want to share this into teams, and we have a department group in Teams, so we have a department channel.
Yeah.
We want to share that to everyone. Could you show me how we do that?
Yeah, of course. So a couple of different ways. There's this one first, which basically will give you a web-based link. So what I did here, if I just go back, sorry, is just close a couple of these tabs. Basically, there's a website URL once you've created the app. And what this allows you to do is basically allows you to display the app as you can use it on a web browser like that. So I would say the easiest way for doing this is to basically, once you've shared the app with yourself or someone else, you'll get this. And essentially you've got that web link, and all you simply need to do is copy and paste that into your team. When someone clicks the link, they'll end up with this, and they'll be able to use the app in the browser, and it will load with nothing else. So basically the easiest way is to do that. You can, do it as well in the Teams app by basically adding a new app. However, I would say using the URL method is using a web link to basically share it. I think will be the easiest way. You can also see things like different versions, so when people have edited it. And things like that. We don't want
to worry about versions. All we want to do is share it. So would you recommend copying the link and pasting it over into your Teams channel for your department to see?
Yeah, definitely. So all you simply need to do, this link, you don't have to just put it in a Teams channel. You can put it in an email. You could put it on like something like Facebook if you wanted to. It's publicly accessible. It's entirely up to you what you want to do with it. But yeah, you could put it in a Teams channel, you could put it in a Teams overview, you could put it in a Teams chat message. And basically you can do that. To add to Teams, you've also got this option up here. And if I click add to Teams, what that will do is basically it will allow you to download the app and it will allow you to upload it to Teams. However, what you can do is you can also add it into Teams by using the app. But as I say, this is probably the easiest way of doing that. So literally just copy and paste the link into your Teams, because when users click it, they'll just go to that link. Just remember that if you do of course need to also share it with them as well. Sorry.
Okay, so when you shared it, it takes you straight to the app. They don't have to worry about doing anything. They can just look at the app and as you intended it to.
Yes, as long as you've shared it with, it'll work absolutely fine.
Okay, and one final thing I want to ask you is, say we've gone through creating a few apps, we've gone through using templates, and we've gone through sharing it through to Teams. Why would you recommend using the Power Apps, and why would you recommend using the templates?
Of course, so Power Apps, the main reason of Power Apps is you're trying to automate stuff within your organization. So for example, what you can do is, you're trying to make stuff easier. Like for example, if I go down here, I can use it as a to-do list. So great, easy to-do list within Power Apps. Great thing as well, you could create a Canvas app to check out the assets in your team. You can, if you're managing properties, use that. Opportunity tracking, there's lots of little things here. Great where you might want to use this if you as a HR professional or something like that, was like the employee engagement survey. So basically what you can do is you can see, if I just create some of the different things in terms of gathering.
So would you say that there's a lot of unique sort of operations to this, and so it doesn't just have to be one size fits all? You can kind of create it to how you want it to specify. So yeah, you can specify it to whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, of course. So for example, here you could change this. All I'd have to do up here is just put visual. And basically you could do that, and you could create like employee engagement survey, and again you could play that, and it's just a nice little app. I mean, this is pretty much how it would look like if you was to put it on a mobile phone, for example. So you see it's quite rectangular, and this would show like the mobile phone version, I would say. And again, so you give it to your users, they go on the mobile phones, open the app, they get started, and basically they'd say, what is your role? So it could be vice president, what position, customer service. And again, you can just say how many hours. So I do all just because I can. Yeah, all of that, and test, or I like my role, things like that.
Okay.
So
now that we've done that, so we've gone through all of that, which is great. When it comes to us, and when it comes to actually showing our full training and what we can do, do you have any information for the people viewing this for that, if they want to do any further training with us, and if they're interested?
Yeah, of course. So just to mention, we do a number of commercial training courses. We can do commercial training on all facilities of 365, including Power Apps. So if you are interested in commercial training, please do get in touch with us at education@risha.com. As I said at the start of the session, if you do consider doing commercial training with us, what I would say is the sessions we do are a lot more interactive with this. We will give you a 365 environment for you to perform a number of tasks and get confident using the technology. And that is something that you would do. The other thing is obviously the odd resources online, but again, we do provide some brilliant courses on this. And yeah, that is what we can do.
Okay, so are there any questions that we, now that we've gone through that?
Yes, so just see, so basically I'll just give you a few other things. You can see here that these are our current apps as well. I just thought I'd show a couple. Again, if you decide that you don't want an app, what you can do is you can edit it. You'll notice in here as well, there's a few little options. I'm just going to briefly show called monitor. And what this will do is basically it will monitor how your app is being used. So basically, if you turn this on, you see published app session, as people start to basically add details to your app in real time, so like the hiring decisions, like the the employee feedback, you'll see it get published in real time, which is a really useful thing. You could just run this all day.
Okay.
And see it get published in real time. So again, real cool way of automating stuff rather than having to look at it at a later date. So let's see.
So Adam, I'm just looking at the Q&A, and we've got a couple of questions. Yeah. So just wanna ask you. So can we copy codes from preloaded templates for creating new apps?
Yes, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to show you this. And basically what you could do is, if I go back to, Power Apps, let's say I want to use code in the budget tracker, but I want to use it for something entirely different. I would just go to the budget tracker template on an existing on a new tab, and when I get it back open, what I would do is, I apologise about this, take a second, come on. What you'll see here is if I go into advanced, what I can do for any of the individual objects on the screen, like the text box, like the button, rectangle, things like that, you'll see each one of them has a certain amount of code attributed. You know, you can see the visible code and lots of things like that. And
so again, would we be able to copy and paste that code into something else then?
Yes, all you'd simply do is right click it. You might have to use a keyboard shortcut like Control and C, but yeah, you can copy it. And again, you would just put it into something else.
All right, great. So, so next question is, can these apps be used externally? So not only to be shared with the people we know, but to the general public?
Yes, depending on how the settings are set within your organisation by your IT department, but yes, you can. If I just use one of our pre-existing apps, I'll show you how you do this. So apps, I'm just going to go on to this next budget tracker, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click share. Now, if you put everyone in, so it says enter a name, email address by everyone, that will put everyone in Visual Limited. Now, to share it externally, what you may have to do is add individual email addresses. I'll just show you here. So basically, this will depend on how your organisation is set. You can do it technically. The problem is with this visual account, we've got, due to ISO regulations, we can't share things externally. We've got that locked down on our environment. But if you used to use Power Apps and allow external sharing of Power Apps, what you would do is you would simply just put an email address in, and when they access it, they might just have to put their email address in to authenticate. So it's just a restriction on us, this is, but you can do it if you set your 365 up correctly.
Okay, and one other question that I see in the Q&A, how can we extract data captured using these apps?
Of course, so if I go to, so you've got monitor. So as I say, you've got monitor, and what this will do is it will allow you to monitor the app. If you create apps yourself, it will usually as well, basically what it will do is it will usually email you as well with responses. You can see here that you can download the data obtained. You can, going back to the app, you can, for example, export it as analytics, and you can see the details. But basically with that, what you would simply do is once shared, going into the app, you would also see it published in the app itself. So you would see obviously the different expenses being displayed and things like that. So you basically got, what you've got is you've got that you've got that monitor tab where what it does, it explains the different details in terms of here, and then of course it will display on the app itself. So if they're using a budget app, then obviously you see the different expenses here, and that's how you would do it really.
Okay, great. So so yeah, those are all the questions I see in the Q&A. So yeah, feel free to ask any more, those that are in this session, and Adam will be happy to answer.
Yeah, of course, please do. Still got no questions.
Okay, so I just see one here. So this one is about publishing apps to the public. All right, tell you what, I'll read the full thing. So sorry, I'm not technical, but my question about publishing apps to the public was more to do with apps we can usually download from, let's say, Google Play. So so are these not like those types of apps?
No, so Google Play is where you've got apps set up by publishers who have uploaded them to the Play Store. This is technically different to Google Play because it's completely set up by Microsoft. Not to say what you would do with these is you would make them very much like web-based apps. So, for example, when they go through on a mobile phone like that, they would simply browse to the app URL you've given, and they'll be able to use it on the browser. So, the cool thing about this is, unlike a lot of the Play Store, they wouldn't have to go download and install an app on the device. They just use it through the browser of the device, and that will be done through sharing. So there's no download required or anything like that, which is really cool. It's mostly web-based apps. I hope that answers your question. Please do ask any more if you have any. You see any others?
It looks like you were able to answer that question, so that was great. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so there's nothing new coming in. So, Adam, do you want to remind everyone when it comes to the commercial training for everyone, please?
Yeah, of course. So just again, I know I'm repeating myself a bit, but we offer commercial training on all sorts of Microsoft services. So if you're using any kind of Microsoft service within your organization, we can look to offer you commercial training. This can be on Power Apps, 365. If you're working in a technical role, Azure Directory, things like that. If you're working in a non-technical role, it could be things on like Teams, which has been very big since the COVID pandemic. You know, Skype, whatever you pick. If you were using the Microsoft technology, we can provide training on any type of Microsoft technology or other things within commercial training. So if you do have a requirement for that, please do get in touch with us either at education@ritual.com or inquirers@ritual.com to see what we can offer. And we'd be happy to, and we'd also be happy to build a bespoke plan to meet your requirements. So please do get in touch. It can include Power Apps if you do want to learn more about it, and other things such as Microsoft Power BI. But yeah, as I say, please do get in touch, and we would be happy to help you.
Okay, so that is everything from us. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the session.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet you this afternoon. I hope you have a good afternoon and evening, and take care.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Bye.